In the year 144 of the Fifth Age, the Crown Prince of Draynoria, Augustus von Trattner, was assassinated in the capital Draynorstadt. Draynoria's emperor, Kaiser Friedrich von Trattner, or Friedrich II, blamed the kingdoms of Esgarnia and Menefos for the murder. Though both nations denied involvement, the Kaiser declared war the morning after, sparking the first conflict to span almost every country in Gielinor. Hence, it was dubbed the First Gielinorian War. The first global conflict was fought between two factions, the Draynorstadt Pact and the Falador Pact. The former was composed of the sovereign states Draynoria, Caridia, Sophonem, and Tiranon, as well as the puppet states of New Menefos, the rump state of Menefos, and Greater Nomia. The latter side was composed of Esgarnia, Menefos, Kandarin, Forinthry, Mauritania, the Nome Empire, and, not until the final year of the war, Misthelen. The side each nation chose usually corresponded to its territorial claims on a member of the other alliance. Draynoria and Esgarnia claimed parts of each other, as did Caridia and Menefos. Sophonem claimed Ulek, which was occupied by Mauritania. Mauritania claimed a small town across the River Salve in Caridia. Tiranon claimed the northwest part of Kandarin and sought political quote-unquote union with the Nome Empire, which the Gnomes viewed as annexation. There were exceptions, however. The vampire-ruled Zamorakian genocidal dictatorship of Mauritania both disliked and was disliked by every other member of the Falador Pact. It joined purely to eradicate Neo-Zarosianism from the last two countries on the globe that practiced it, Draynoria and Caridia. The Nome quote-unquote empire had territorial claims on Kandarin, but at the time expansionism was all but a fringe movement in the country. Nonetheless, the Draynorstadt Pact would wisely exploit the Gnomes' potential for irredentism when they created their puppet of Greater Nomia. Within hours of the Crown Prince's assassination, Draynoria declared war on Esgarnia and Menefos. Draynoria was immediately joined by its ally Caridia, who agreed to jointly attack both nations. The situation in Esgarnia boiled down to a bloody, stagnant stalemate, especially in the Esgarnian capital Falador, which was right on the border with Draynoria. Kandarin and Forinthry had a mutual defense treaty with Esgarnia, as the three largest countries in Gielinor, and hence joined the Falador Pact. With Kandarin's acceding, Lord Yorworth, the dictator of the Yorworth clan ruled Tiranon, joined the Draynorstadt Pact and invaded Kandarin. With elven troops approaching the Nome border, the Nome Empire honored its good relations with Kandarin and joined the Falador Pact. Menefos fell within weeks. Right around then, the vampire realm of Mauritania acceded to the Falador Pact and invaded Caridia. This, along with fear of Caridian invasion following a successful conquest of Menefos, prompted Sophonem to join the Draynorstadt Pact for safety. In addition to a quote-unquote guarantee of sovereignty, the pact agreed to help Sophonem recover its lost territory of Ulek from Mauritanian hands. Right around then, the Mauritanian advance into Caridia had almost reached the capital of Al-Qarid, prompting the Draynorstadt Pact to create two puppet states to assuage the populations they occupied. The map remained roughly like this for the next 3 years, until Forinthry experienced a revolution, prompting it to drop out of the war. The recall of Forinthrian troops allowed the Draynorstadt Pact to break the stalemates in Esgarnia and Caridia, and march north to begin an unresisted invasion of Forinthry. Doing so, however, made the previously neutral nation of Misthelen, which boasted Gielinor's strongest standing army, completely surrounded. Fearing Draynorstadt Pact invasion, the nation attacked the encircling powers, ending their conquests of Forinthry and propelling the Falador Pact to victory in the fourth and final year of the war. The peace treaty of Port Sarim mandated that the Draynorian von Trattner dynasty had to abdicate. All references to Zaros had to be removed from the governments of both Draynoria and Caridia, thus eradicating the last trace of state-sponsored Zarosianism on the earth. Draynoria lost 2/3 of its territory. The western third became part of Esgarnia, the eastern third became the newly independent country of Narud. It also ceded its colonies in Karamja. Caridia fared no better, losing half of its territory to Menefos. Every losing country was obligated to pay reparations to the victorious powers. Sophonem owed 60 billion, Carydia 100 billion, Tiranon 120, and Draynoria 600 billion. In addition to bearing almost total responsibility for the war, Draynoria was forced to eliminate its army. National defense would instead be handled by the police, which it was allowed to militarize more heavily for this purpose. These harsh provisions contributed in part to Nigel Quran's ascendancy to dictator, and the Second Gielinorian War 20 years later. The war's greatest consequence for Tiranon was on its people. They increasingly viewed the ruling Iorwerth clan as selfish and impractical, having entered their entire nation into a war from which they gained nothing. This would spark a few years later the First Elven Civil War, in which elves of the subservient Seven Clans rebelled successfully and established a democracy. Lord Iorwerth would be overthrown, sending him to exile in Draynoria, which would be Kharanis at that time. Despite being on the winning side, Mauritania actually lost its territory of Olek to Sophonem, as the other Falador Pact members permitted the latter to keep it. The other powers felt letting Mauritania gain land would be subjecting innocent humans to vampire tyranny. The Mauritanians in turn felt betrayed by their former allies, a crucial factor in the decision to fight on Draynoria's side in the Second Gielinorian War. 4 and 3 was now embroiled in a civil war that would last until year 152, culminating in the establishment of the Union of Bandosian States. The Draynor Pact's rapid conquest of 4 and 3 territory in year 147 awoke the nation to how pitiful their army was. Warlord Amiron Skulbash, who would eventually become dictator of the Bandosian Union, would make it its first goal to strengthen the military. The Mystilenean population's mood changed from feeling stifled by their neutrality to pure isolationism. Having lost a disproportionate amount of their citizens in battle and in civilian atrocities, even compared to the earliest members of the Falador Pact, Mystileneans vowed never to enter any war again, unless their own country was under threat of invasion. Unfortunately, in episode 17 of Falador Has Fallen, they would be the first target.